Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, to be specific yet vague. My name's BrianEngelman. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. And this is the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. On today's show, we're going to cover the FBI's grand conspiracy. I have thoughts. I have several thoughts. Shocking, right? Shocking. Brian has thoughts on a matter. I had a working title for this show once called Opinion on Everything. And maybe it was maybe this was a title for a project or a story or a series, or I didn't know what to do with it. My brother had one that I love that I want to do something with. Hit snooze on the smoke alarm. I don't know where that came from, but he had that on something. We used it on business cards or something with our band, Twist of Nothing, and it said hit snooze on the smoke alarm. I think that's where it was at. Anyway, I do want to keep that. I want to keep that energy. I want to keep that phrase. But yeah, I used to have a phrase, opinion on everything. Because let's face it, I open up the news each and every day, and we're unpacking what we got. We're all learning about it together. I mean, that's kind of the fun of jumping into this, because I'm not just going to deliver you something where here's what you need to believe today. I don't know what you need to believe today. I know what we're going to look into, and we're going to talk about it together. And you can guide me on this journey. Ask me questions. Tell some jokes in the comments. How about do all of the things, and we'll go from there. That's what this show is about, and I really enjoy our time together. Hello, everybody in chat. Hey to Nick Adams. Brian. Was that the Brian? Maybe I should tell that story. I haven't told that story in my stand-up yet. I need to tell Brian. I moved to the hood. There's only one guy that looked like me. It was the dude with the boombox that talked to himself. This is the ghetto, Brian. Brian. That was 4 syllables somehow. It's pretty great. So welcome to today's program. We're going to talk about the grand conspiracy. I have several thoughts. I don't want to spoil them right now. We'll unpack them as they arrive, and we will dig into the news. So let's fire up the show. Grab your cup of coffee, because I left mine on the table right there, and let's see what's going on in the world today.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Thank you all for joining us today as we see what's going on in the world. The New American Media is out in the world. Look at the bottom of your screen. These are the places I'm asking you to follow the New American Media, not just however you found us today. Hit like, hit subscribe, jump into the comments section. I'll let the comments populate and then I'll put it up on the screen so the conversation can continue while we chit chat. We're on, when I say we, the New American Media, is on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odysee, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube. Search the New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on X at American_Media_, and subscribe to our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show, on Spotify and Apple. So the TNAM Daily Show is covered under the umbrella of the Agree to Disagree Show. For 13 years, all of my shows about news has been called the Agree to Disagree Show. But over the past year, I sort of started reaching the conclusion that I wanted to keep the Agree to Disagree Show for when we bring guests on. And we've had some great guests over the years. When I'm doing a news show, unpacking the news, I mean, I'm fine with the TNAM Daily Show, the New American Media Daily Show, the TNAM Daily Show, TNAM Night Show, TNAM Morning Show. So we were doing the TNAM AM Show. It had a nice ring to it, but I'm fine with it, how we have it called now. But yes, please follow us in all of those places. Shout out, by the way, Amber. Hey, there you go. Saying cool intro. Amber, was that your first time watching us was that your first time watching our intro? Because I'm going to rework the intro. There's about 30 other really cool moments that I want to share visually. Like maybe 1 second at a time, just instead of 3 or 4 seconds or 5 seconds, just pop, 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 maybe about a second and a half. You're just going to see me talking to all sorts of interesting people in all sorts of interesting locations. Problem is, I'm the idea guy. Do you have an idea guy in your life? Are you the idea guy or girl? I have the ideas, and I hope that other people will. Look, here's the thing. I want to be the head coach. I want to be the general manager, and I want to be able to put the right pieces in place. I want to run a network. What you've watched for 14 years has been a one-man show with a ton of help from Blake Wally, Chris Engelman, Sean Flynn, Ted Distel, collaborations with all sorts of great people along the way. But end of the day, this has just been a passion project of mine. This has been a snapshot of what it is I am capable of doing if I had the resources to hire and fire. You know, how many people would I need to hire? What, 50 grand a year, 75 a year, 100 a year? Like, what does it take for people to survive these days? I mean, about 100, right? It's not easy to get by, regardless of how low your expenses are. You know, to clear $5,000 a month, you got to have about 85,000 in income. Take 30% and burn it for taxes. $5,000 a month is not a lot for your housing, for health insurance, car insurance, property insurance, other insurance upon the insurance. I don't know, whatever the case. But yeah, you've seen a snapshot of what it is that I do and what I'm like the vision of where I want to take it. TNAM Music, TNAM Food and Drink, TNAM Humor, all the sports groups, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Different, for everything, there's a season. And I got a lot of ideas and I got a lot of stuff going on in my head, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to collaborate on. But yeah, follow us in all the places. We did get John Boy. John Boy linked up with us. I hit dismiss. There we go. John Boy followed us. What was it? TNAM Food and Drink or TNAM Grow Something. John Boy jumped over into Facebook. We have a whole bunch of Facebook groups. I don't usually advertise them. I mean, sort of, because what's the point? But the Facebook groups are great. I don't even tell you about them. But yeah, TNAM Humor, TNAM Food and Drink, TNAM Grow Something, TNAM Preparedness, TNAM School Indoctrination Network, TNAM Hockey, TNAM Golf, TNAM Wrestling. It's just like little subdivisions as I'm scrolling and I see interesting stuff. All right, that goes there. That goes there. That goes there. It's just like I'm sorting all day long. Yeah, I sort a lot of content. And not everything's appropriate to just dump into the TNAM Daily Show or, agree to disagree. But that's what I was roughly getting at, was that for about 13 of the 14 years, everything I did. And actually, I don't see us streaming on Rumble. Why are we not streaming on Rumble? We're 10 minutes in. Let's see. Amber saying, are you on Twitch? Yes, I am on Twitch, the New American Media. Can you follow us on Twitch? I'm not seeing that our, Rumble has been so glitchy. I added this channel twice. Let me just refresh, make sure all the, because you got to do server URLs and stream keys. They said, oh, we fixed it, so you can just click it and you can add it like everything else on Restream. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's an error message after an error message. So no, that doesn't work. Let's try to add this channel on Rumble. Because Rumble is like the only place that allows us to be monetized. And yeah, you're damn right. I want to earn a living doing this. So I gotta get those ad revenues and the Rumble rants. Okay, did it save? Am I on Rumble? Is it streaming on Rumble? Let me close Rumble and open it again. Yeah, the more that my bills are paid with the New American Media, the more I can do the New American Media. I can't just do a labor of love. And look, I was blessed beyond all means where I was able to dedicate a nice portion of my life. Okay, it's so weird because it wasn't showing that I was Rumble. So I undid it and did it again. You might have just disconnected. If you're watching on Rumble, see, it wasn't working for me. Patriot Warrior Texas, what's up? He says, yes, you're on Rumble. It's working. See, it's working. No, I couldn't see it. When I clicked, there was nothing to see. There was no video showing. So I just added the channel because on Restream, it wasn't showing that it was going. So my question to Nick Adams on Rumble, thank you, Nick Adams, and John Boy, did the show just skip when I had to refresh it? I don't know. And is it still working? I'm going to write test. Okay, see, it's working. I think it's working. You see now. Yes, I do see now. All right, perfect. See, this is the give and take. Look at this. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm getting some weird advertisement. But if I let that ad play, it's like tossing a penny into the wishing well. You get yourself 100 pennies, boy. That's $1. That could get you 4 packs of Garbage Pail Kids back in the day. Don't you know? Okay, there was no skip. All right, cool. Well, look, as long as it's working, I'm happy. And I'm happy you are here. Amber says, that would be cool. What would be cool? I remind everybody, I love your comments, but when I get a comment like that would be cool, I don't know what that is. So if you're like, that would be cool if you're on Twitch, I go, oh, I would understand that. Because what I'm doing is juggling apples and chainsaws. And I have 2 ring lights. I have 3 monitors. I have comments here, comments here, comments here. And I got Instagram up in one box. I got our X feed on another, and I'm jumping between stories, jumping around. So when I get a full sentence that I can at least understand as a standalone comment, it makes sense. Patriot Warrior, no, that was not Corn Hub. It's this lady. I'm an artificial intelligence lady, and I'm not even real. But I did this simple hack with pink Himalayan salt and these 3 ingredients from the refrigerator, and I'm dropping more weight than I could ever imagine. In fact, look at my bazoombas perched on the ledge over here. Yeah. The dirty 30s, except I'm in my 60s. Yeah. Don't you want to do the Himalayan salt trick? Yeah. No, I'm not watching Corn Hub. Actually, fun fact, Cornhub is banned in Kentucky. I think they want you to enter an ID. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So, okay, can I stop showing you this? All right, I'll stop showing you this. Yes. So here's the comments from Amber. It's like, that would be cool. I don't know what's cool. Unless you're saying, are you on Twitch? It would be cool if you're on Twitch. And then I go, oh, okay. Yes, it is. What it is. But I think I said, is that your first time watching my intro? And she said, yes, it is my first time watching the intro. So I'm just saying, as I'm juggling and bouncing between screens and I'm 5 minutes off and I don't remember what the heck I was even talking about or what I asked you, making a comment that can stand alone and I can jump back and go, oh yeah, we did have peach cobbler at the cookout. Instead of the comment being, we had that. We had what? That was at the cookout. What was at the cookout? So anyway, it's not even, no, I don't care. It's not a pet peeve. I'm saying to maximize your comments energy so that I can play tennis with the comments. Yeah. Let's see. Coffee Mom, we have to get you affiliated. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. Add you to my profile so it goes to my followers and when you're alive. All right. I'm all ears. Hello, David Bann from Ontario. Coffee Mom from Ohio. Nick Adams from Lewiston, Maine. Formerly from Lewiston, Maine. Yeah. Really feeling those lighters. Yeah. John Otto. Take him to the Matthews Bridge. Love that drummer from Limp Bizkit. Anyway, that's Nick Adams from Florida. No longer Lewiston, Maine. Oh, by the way, Nick is one of our new subscribers on Patreon. Appreciate you, brother. And anybody else, if you wanted to sign up to support independent media, we're on Patreon at the New American Media. There we go. Share. Yeah, is that how you say? I think there's an SHCHEHYEAHHHHHHH. You ever seen where someone on like a video will say, Siri, from now on, I want you to call me HAHAHAHAHAHAHA, and they do that, and it goes, okay, from now on, I will call you ha. And it's just, I mean, it's like a demonic takeover when they play it back, and it's like 40 seconds of this thing just wigging out. Is wigging out a phrase that we're allowed to use anymore? You know, because it's like sometime in the 2000s, I think it was. In the year 2000, we said no more as a society. Society collectively said, no more. Let's not casually drop the G word. No more G word. It's not just N words, not just F words. Now there's G words and there's R words. There's like a lot of stuff we just shouldn't ever say. Those are all back now. Those are back. I still have a hard time just letting them roll off the tongue. When you grew up in the 90s, I mean, come on. I mean, you had to be there. It was the lexicon of the time. You read Huckleberry Finn, you're like, ooh, geez, why going so hard on that guy? Woo, casually dropping. But like different eras have different ways of speaking. It doesn't make them bad or great or. Yes, it is. It means everything is bad except for me and my generation, and I'm fucking perfect, and everybody unlike me deserves to be brought down a few pegs. I am perfection incarnate. Are you, though? Are you, sweetheart? Are you? No, you're not. 17 thoughts spinning in my head, but is wigged out? I mean, it sounds like wigger, W-I. Is that a phrase that you can use? But I said wigged out, like freaked out. And then I was like, is that a phrase? Wigged out. Is wigged out a phrase? Does that mean the wig pops off your head? I don't know. John Boy and Rumble goes, after everything I shared, I had that screen up and I was showing you, and I was talking to you about this pink salt trick has saved me. I've listened to the ad so many times. I've been talking about wigging out, and we're talking about getting Twitch affiliation so that we can get subscribers and tips. I like subscribers and tips. But after everything I did to explain what that advertisement was, he goes, yep, Cornhub. I've seen her. You know what? I was scrolling today. And while I was scrolling, I was like, what's that? And it was an adult actress who I recognized. Except this wasn't her. This was an AI version of her. Ooh, these OnlyFans models, they are about to be in for a rude awakening. The influencers. When you can just go to a website and it's already here, it's already happening. But if you get to play director with an AI version of somebody, and you could watch literally exactly what you'd like to see, or spin the wheel of, surprise me today. But yeah, I scrolled past, it wasn't Cornhub, but it was just like Instagram, InstaHose or something. I'm like, oh, I know who that person is. I've watched him. I've watched that person at work. I was like, wait, that is not that person. It is getting very difficult to discern reality from artificial intelligence. And one of my theories, I got several theories. Ready? One, it is possible, if not probable or likely, at least possible, maybe probable, if not likely, that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Oh, shut up, Brian. We know that. No. I'm not saying they went in and killed him. They had some guy come in and break his neck and they killed him. Because that's the other version of the story. It's like, no, he tied a rope. He took care of himself. You're like, he was in a suicide room. He had paper sheets. He had 24/7 surveillance. There's nothing to hang anything for. Like, he couldn't have. He literally couldn't have. So it doesn't make sense. Of course someone else did it. No. I'm saying they shuffled him out of there. And he's been in witness relocation somewhere for 6 years. He was probably a Mossad agent. Oh my gosh, are you criticizing the one group that can never be criticized? What group can never be criticized? Every group gets criticism. Every group is open to criticism. Every group. Yes, even the Gold Star mothers that the Democrats trot out to push ridiculous Trump derangement syndrome talking points on stage at their DNC. And then you critique them. And then you know what happens? They go, oh, how dare you critique that Gold Star mother? They lost their son in the war. They're allowed to. Yeah, they can talk. I'm not talking trash about the tragic loss of their son. I'm saying the point that they made is ridiculous. It's backward. It's incorrect. It's gaslighting. And I'm not going to allow them to say that. You're being mean to a Gold Star. No. No, you're trying to cloak your terrible idea in a shield of can't see me. I'm invisible. I'm protected. I got my magic cloak on. I'm invisible. No, you're not. Everybody's open to criticism. That goes for the Muslims. They say, you can't draw this character. You can't draw a character. You can't draw a character. You are going to choose to not draw a character. You don't get to go to Charlie Hebdo and shoot the place up like you did in Europe. Was it France? Charlie Hebdo? Trey Parker and Matt Stone did the Muhammad episode. Christ is mocked daily. Everything is up for grabs. Everything is open for criticism. And if it's fair criticism, that's probably going to be good on you. If you're heaping unfair criticism, that's not a good thing. But yeah, isn't it common knowledge? Like Tucker says, he's like, everyone I talk to, it's common knowledge. It's common knowledge. Epstein was Mossad. He's working for Israel. I can do better on my laugh, my Charlie, not my Charlie Kirk, my Tucker Carlson laugh. That is an impression I want to sit down and try to work on. I think I'd be pretty good doing a Tucker Carlson impression. I think I could do it pretty well. Oh, by the way, did you hear what Maha did? What, 90% of the ice cream companies are taking all their artificial colors out of the products now? The petroleum-based food dyes are going to be gone from our products. That's good. Like, more common sense things. Another check mark. Good. Moving forward. Trump didn't fully understand the issue. He's like, I don't get why Europe is banning American food. We're not going to allow it. Yeah, you're not going to allow it. They don't want the GMO shit. They don't want the things that you spray on the crops so that when the bugs eat the things that you sprayed, it rots their guts. Oh, cool. So let's grind all that up and ingest that so it rots our guts? No, thanks. Europe doesn't want that. We don't want that. So that was a big win. And we're going to talk about that. Back on track, and I'm going to get into the stories here. Sorry, I'm enjoying this chit chat with you guys. But yes, we're on Patreon, the New American Media. Thank you to all of our subscribers every first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Easter egg of the day. What's that from? It's the first of the month. Type it in the comments. But yeah, so in roughly 2 weeks, that'll bill. You can do $5 a month, $15 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month. It's all awesome, and thank you guys. Tip jar, Venmo, and Cash App, BrianEngelman, and PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. You like that, Tucker? Cool. Yeah, it's a. I mean, you gotta let it rip. And even there, I was in this register. There was one more register. It's something about today. I didn't go up to the highest Tucker register, but when it's done, I need to be able to like slip into the Tucker voice mode. And I think I just need to watch him for a little bit and I can imitate it. I do it when I'm not thinking about it, but now and that's the key with stand-up comedy, by the way. You know, you have 4 minutes on stage, you got to get on and get off in 4 minutes. It's tricky. I know how to talk, but condensing it to like really tight parameters, that's where a good producer would come in handy. But yes, that Tucker laugh is pretty great. There you go. Bone Thugs in Harmony, Cleveland Zone. Coffee Mom got it. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Nick says the AI Joe Rogan voice ads on Rumble are crazy. I'm surprised it's allowed. Dude, take a look at this. They have these monoculars. I don't know if I do a Joe Rogan either. But yeah, it sounds just like Rogan, or one of them sounds bloody well just like Jordan Peterson. Yeah, AI is moving fast and it's creepy, of course. So Coffee Mom TV, Coffee Mom TV. What do I have to do to get affiliate? What's the process? Like, do I have to get East 1999 East 1999 East? They did such cool shit vocally. Like to just strip down, you know, whatever they're talking about, whatever the beat is, or whatever the synthesized stuff is. Man, they did really cool. You know, as cool as Motown Philly, Boys to Men. They were doing cool vocal stuff like barbershop quartet or whatever you called that, doo-wop, or, you know, a cappella. Man, Bone Thugs in Harmony was doing really interesting. Wait, I'm not saying Deb, not from San Francisco's name this morning? Sorry about that, Deb, from not San Francisco. I said San Francisco the other day. Okay, 50 different followers, 7 different days streaming, and average viewers needs to be 3 in a week. Can you see my stats on Twitch? I don't really mess with it. I do see it streaming. I'll do test comment from Twitch. There we go. It shows that I have 3 followers. That's nice. Do I have stats? Where do I look at the creator dashboard? Yeah, that latest stream was a... Oh, thanks to the follow. There you go, Coffee Mom TTV. Oh, analytics. That's what I want to see. Overview. 2 follows, 55 hours streamed, 5 unique viewers, 19 unique chatters. Okay. Update my category. What's that? It says 0. I don't know what that's all about. All right. Well, yeah, I'm new to Twitch, but I had to. YouTube was giving me strikes from ridiculous stuff from a long time ago, just attacking the channel. Oh, stop. Deb's pretending. Deb is one of our show supporters. We appreciate you. She is good people in not San Francisco. I'm not ignoring you. Sorry about that. You show that, yeah, I have 4 followers. Okay, that's neat. Is that affiliate? Is here, let me just, can I share this screen? Here, let's get into it. Twitch. I'm going in that picture. Here we go. Okay, so if I click on creator dashboard, is that? And it says 2 viewers, latest stream summary, analytics, overview. This is what I'm getting. Content, milestones, 55 hours. That's all I know. That's all I know about it. Go for affiliate, not partner. David saying YouTube is bunk. Yeah, YouTube is bunk. I mean, they really have been doing all these goofy copyright claims. I'm going, guys, I'm the news. Look at me. I'm the news now. Look at me. I'm the news now. There's a link for Path. All right. Path to affiliate. Viewer rewards. Content settings. Community. All right. I don't know. I'll play around with this later. I'm all ears, but, you know, right now it's another place to stream. Assuming that one day I'm going to try to go on and YouTube's going to be like, yeah, we're good. Don't you forget we're run by the deep state and Google. We think we're going to let you expose our bullshit each day? No, thanks. Definitely not going to let you earn a living doing this. Oh, even though I was doing fairly well and they zapped my account. And I think there's legacy code in X. Has anyone else experienced this? Even though Elon took it over and changed the algorithm, I noticed it recently where I'm getting a lot of prompts, alerts from ABC News just at the top of my screen. Like they really want you to see it. I'm like, I wouldn't trust ABC to spell the first 3 letters of the alphabet. I don't want to see that. But they are pushing their deep state stuff through ABC, CBS, NBC. What's it called? Qualitative sources. That's not right. Not quantitative. Authoritative sources, I think is what they called it. You know, they don't, if there's a story on an Ariana Grande attack at a concert, they don't want me reporting on it. I went live, told you what was going on, gave you some tips and tricks. If you're going to a concert, make sure you all take a picture of like where you're at in the parking lot. So, you know, in case you forget, or you have a few soda pops and you forget, and then set a secondary location to meet. If we get lost and we're outside of the stadium, we'll meet at the west end by this statue. Perfect. Take a picture of it. And then if you're inside and you go, hey, if we have to get out, we're going to that exit right there. That's the closest one. We're going, making a beeline. If there's something wrong with that, we're going this way. You should have these thoughts in your head whenever you're out, not to be paranoid, just so you have a plan. There's no need to be scared when you're prepared. I just covered the story and they struck it and they said, your content is, you know, we don't allow advertisements on this, and we don't let people talk about the news. All of my suggested videos were ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, breaking coverage, attack at an Ariana Grande concert. And you're going, you fucking assholes. I just grabbed a news story. I'm hitting it with a live take, doing a 5-minute video to update people, give you real, tangible information. TNAM Preparedness. That's a group on Facebook. Join it. What to do when you and your family are out, when you and your friends are out. How to avoid if something bad happens. What do? Have a plan. My content was awesome. They wouldn't let me do it. And it's like, that's what I've been banging my head up against a brick wall with for 14 years. There's nobody out there more qualified to do what I do. Yet the barriers I face have felt seemingly insurmountable to the point where it doesn't make sense to keep doing this. Like that, I have a limited number of hours in each day. And if me dumping half of my available hours into something that can't pay my bills is not working, I need to shift gears. And over the 14 years, I've done some different things. I've taken some full-time jobs and I've done this on the side. And there's been times I've just dumped, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing a daily show. All right. I've never done a literal daily show. Sometimes it was once a week. Sometimes it was special events. Sometimes it was twice a week. Sometimes it was whatever the case. Right now, I am giving 6 days a week because I do think there's something about just taking a day off. The day of the week that reeks of rest, but all we do is catch our breath so we can wade naked into the bloody pool to place our hand upon the big black book. Oh, that's a deep cut. Does anyone know that Easter egg of the day? That's a lyric. If you can name the musician. The day of the week that reeks of rest, but all we can do is catch our breaths and wade naked into the bloody pool to place our hand upon the big black book. But yeah, I do take one day off because I should. But then sometimes it's like, I'd pop on here and talk about a couple of stories and then bounce. This is fun. This is something I excel at. This is something I enjoy. It's informative. It's all those things. So it doesn't feel like work. But yeah, when everything you're doing is being hidden from your audience, millions of views, 6,500 subscribers on YouTube over 14 years. And my videos sometimes get fewer watches on YouTube, Google, than on Rumble, something I just started a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I've got like 145 subscribers, but I'll get better ratings over there. I'm like, make it make sense. And they cap. It's like YouTube will cap the videos. They will not let anything go viral. They will not let a lot of people see anything. You know, maybe some of that is because I do long form content. I'm not just giving you like a quick burst of something that'll play 1 billion times on a 6-second clip. I get it. But then why does Joe Rogan get views? Oh, well, because he's Joe Rogan. Yeah, he's a guy talking to other people. He's a guy talking about the things happening in the world. Yeah, well, you know, he's Joe. Okay, well, why? Why do 50 to 100 shows get 99% of the traffic? Tell me why. What's so special about some of these shows? So anyway, that's just a wraparound of why I have a Twitch. It's why all this stuff is in place. It's because I can't rely on YouTube at all. Can't do it. I can rely on them to wake up one day and maybe not let me access my account. So screw them. I'm going to work around them. Find a way around. Wait. Find a way through, around, or over. It's another Easter egg musical quote of the day, if you know that one. Find a way through, around, or over. I'd be very impressed if any of you are getting those. But yeah, I'm all ears on trying to get affiliated on Twitch. I feel like I'd need more subscribers. And really, most of the people that jump in Twitch, I go, hey, I see you have a great channel. Would you like to get more views? I can get you 5,000 views. I'm like, just do it then. You want to do it? Show me. Load 5,000 follower bots. Okay. And then say, hey, would you like 5,000 more? All right, send me $5. I go, I don't know. But like, show me what you can do. Don't just throw that same copy paste thing into my chat. That's what I get a lot of on Twitch, but it is cool. Twitch and Kick and D Live. And thunder off in the distance. And the thunder rolls. Deb from not San Francisco says, yes, I'm getting crap on X too. Yeah, I've sort of wondered, should I just start a new YouTube account without the restrictions? But I'm like, how long would it take before they slap me with the same legacy code restrictions to keep my show from growing? So anyway, these are the things that go on in my head. I try not to talk about them all the time, because if I do, it's just going to convince me to stop doing this and just put my head down and go work some government job and call it a day. Don't be the tallest flower in the field, or else you'll get struck down. Okay, I guess I better not talk about anything anymore. And I've emerged from that. I was there January 6th. I saw what happened in that 2020 fiasco. Yeah, Joe Biden, my ass. We can't talk about it. I was there when Fauci unleashed that demon COVID on the world, and we weren't allowed to talk about that. But go back and watch the content I was putting out. I was damn near spot on. My shit held up. My batting average. Let me toot my own horn here. Let's go back. Huh. I was on a podcast. What was it called? Big Fish in the Middle Kingdom. I think it was something like that. And it was a podcaster who was in China. And when we were talking about COVID, it happened, right around that time that I'd moved from Los Angeles out to Louisville. And he edited the whole part out in the middle where I talked about COVID being unleashed from China, from the Wuhan lab. And it was a lab leak, my ass. But they weren't even saying that. By the way, never call it a lab leak. Call it a possibly intentional lab release. They don't have any bonus points or credibility with me where I'm going to trust that what happened was accidental. It felt fucking intentional. But when I talked about, it didn't come from a wet market. It came from the Wuhan laboratory. Like, this was released from China. They're pretending, oh, there was something with a bat, something in soup. No, it wasn't. It was the lab across the street, you morons. He had to cut, and I didn't even approach it that way. I wasn't acting like a dick. I was just saying it. They cut that part out because, other shows I did were just deleted. I had my personal accounts deleted on Facebook. I had my page for the New American Media deleted. I was silenced with no opportunity to remedy any alleged issue. Banned for 30 days, completely silenced, groups deleted. And there's nobody to talk to. There's no one to go, what are you doing? Nope, nothing. You're just silenced and you're going. I think it's easy to look at the successes of the Trump administration and feel differently than we used to. But the dark days of the Joe Biden regime, when he was installed as the resident of America, we couldn't talk about COVID. We couldn't talk about 81 million, my ass. Oh, there's a question of the day. What's the most dangerous third rail to question mathematically? $81 million or $6 million? Okay, I put that up. I'm going to pin it. That's our question of the day. Please type in the comments. I'm very curious. What is the most dangerous third rail to question? I'm asking Grok to define third rail. Literal and metaphorically. In rail systems, the third rail is an electrified rail that runs parallel to the tracks and supplies power to the electric trains. It carries high voltage electricity, making it extremely dangerous to touch, as it can cause severe injury or death. Metaphorically, a third rail refers to a topic or issue that is highly sensitive, controversial, or politically charged, often considered too risky to address directly because it could lead to severe consequences, such as backlash or loss of support. For example, in politics, issues like Social Security reform or gun control are sometimes called third rails because they are fraught with risk for politicians. The metaphorical use stems from the literal danger of the electrified rail, implying that touching the issue is similarly hazardous. That's a tough phrase. Similarly. Yeah, 4-syllable words are not. Similarly hazardous. So as I'm talking about Joe Biden, what is the most dangerous third rail to question mathematically? 81 million Joe Biden votes or 6 million from World War II? Ho, 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 man. Question of the day. Patriot Warrior says QOTD, 81 million votes my ass. Right. My ass. The Democrats. Yep. Damn those Dems. Unholy hoax in San. Not Diego, not Francisco, not Jose. San Antonio. Hello, Unholy hoax. David Band saying it was probably the John McAfee interview that did it. You know what? I've mentioned this 1,000 times. Let me play you that. Well, number one, let me see if I can even find it. Because they hide it. Oh my God, it's hidden. Oh yeah, they will not let me. This was 9 years ago. I've had multiple chats with John.
All right, we're here with John McAfee. John, thanks for taking a few minutes.
I can see a wall of utter blackness. Thank you very much. You sound like you're identified by sight.
Would you say that's a metaphor for American politics in 2016?
That's a very bright comment. Yes, absolutely.
He liked me right away. He liked that comment. He says, all I can see is the bright light, like he was literally blinded. I'm like, is that a metaphor for politics today?
Thank you very much. You sound like you're identified by sight.
Would you say that's a metaphor for American politics in 2016?
That's a very bright comment. Yes, absolutely.
That's a very bright comment. No, he's funny. I liked this was me hanging out. I think I either gave him a cigarette or a lighter. Yeah, I do not smoke cigarettes these days. But yeah, the John McAfee did, and it was the John McAfee interview that did it, because as I did a search, this is not. I'm scrolling down to see. It's titled "The Deep State." What was it? The CIA just got nuked. That was his quote. But it won't even show it to me. Look at what Google fucking does. Look at this. Let me. John was he was gracious. He was complimentary. He was so gracious with his time. He was very charming. He was very nice. Yeah, I type this video in, it literally will not show me. And that's the one that got 100 and... Here, let me go to my channel. Because I mentioned this enough. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I have to look at it from my account. If I'm searching, yeah, it's not letting me see my let me try my videos. YouTube Studio. Search across your channel. Yep, here it is. The video that ended it all for me. Fucking assholes. These fucking assholes. Yeah, it does bother me a lot. My name, the company name, the show name should be just as big as, and it's not about me pointing out this person or that person. So I'm not, but rattle through the name of the top 50 shows that are covering politics and getting interesting guests and putting out consistent content. I'm being very tempted to just start naming the names of very successful shows. Why the fuck am I not on that list? There's another list that exists, but nobody wants to think about this. Easter egg of the day. I played it yesterday. Who is the musician that wrote that lyric? Yes, this is the John McAfee interview that did it.
Guide to the Truth, the new AmericanMedia.com.
Yeah, new music. This is my conversation with him. We got 134,000 views in one day, and they zapped it and my channel. I like this intro music.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Agree to Disagree here at the new AmericanMedia.com and the new place where you come to get information, the new way of digging into a story, the new way of hearing about things that are happening. The corporate propaganda, that machine is broken down, crumbling, failing.
Hello, Super Bear.
It's done. It's over.
2022.
It's never coming back the way that it used to be, as long as we have an internet. Let that sink in for a second. As long as an internet exists, we are never going to be ruled by the corporate media elites ever again. So now I've done shows with Stuart Rhodes from Oath Keepers, and we talked about the internet being our best weapon.
And I interviewed Stuart Rhodes outside of the January 6th gulag when he was released in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I mean, I'm interviewing Stuart Rhodes and John McAfee. I'm definitely on a list. No, this is interesting because I literally just searched for this and YouTube would not show it.
In defense of liberty, freedom, having fun, doing the things we want to do, having a good time, being as responsible as we can be so as not to harm another individual, but still living our own life our own way, not being told what to do, not being spied on. Unfortunately, the United States government has been creeping outside of our windows, looking through the bushes, lurking, listening to your family, watching your family. You, what are you up to? What are you saying? WikiLeaks has done, yet again, something amazing. I can count on a couple of, it's only a few times where vindication, that's probably the best way to phrase this, vindication has occurred. I would say Edward Snowden with the NSA revelations. And this one is a big one. You know, I've had tape over my camera for a long time. I've known about this stuff for a long
I've had tape over my camera for a long time. Yes. If you look at the top of my screen here, can you see? Let me switch. There we go. I don't know if you can tell. Right there. That's a black square. It's electrical tape. There we go. I don't want a fucking camera watching me all day. Are you out of your mind? And why don't these phone companies give you something that you can just go like this? You slide it closed and you pop it open for a selfie. I don't want a camera, and they are listening all the time, building a massive dossier against us. Nick Adams saying, I don't know why I knew of Crowder all these years, but not you. That's sad. Aw, thanks. Yeah, I interviewed Gerald A. Morgan in Milwaukee last year at the Republican convention. And they do have phone cases that do that. I've never seen them out in the wild. I only get a new phone case every 2-3 years, and I've never noticed one. But yeah, I would work with the Crowder Network, Louder with Crowder. I've heard lots of stories, but you know, that aside, everybody's got stories. Yeah, we've met, you know, talked to Tim Pool, talked to Rogan, you know, whatever the case. Deb saying, uh-oh, Brian's had Kofefi. Am I fired up? Am I moving along at rapid speed? If you start out by making John McAfee laugh, he's going to remember you, and Brian did. Look, you only get one shot. No, but John was very gracious. Sorry, I haven't listened to this. I got 134,000 views in a day. This is like normal for a Crowder, for a Rogan. Like, you have an interview with somebody and you get the views that you should get. Except I got kneecapped. I got fucking whacked. Oh, John McAfee put a tattoo on his arm that says whacked. And he says, by the way, Brian, if something ever happens to me, know that I was not suicidal. Whacked. If something happens, I was whacked. And he was, allegedly. I would like to ponder the possibility. What if he wasn't? They said he had a dead man switch. If something happened to him, all the information would come out. But something did happen, and the information didn't come out. So, did they bribe some guards and some officials to bring in a cadaver that be on the lookout of somebody that dies that looks something like this, and I'll pay you a bunch of Bitcoin to swap us out, get me out of here. You will be filthy rich forever. Because a lot of what John McAfee's story is that he was being shaken down, like Suge Knight shaking Vanilla Ice by the ankles. I want your money. What do you got? Give me all that you got. I will hold you over the fucking balcony and shake your ankles. You want to play with me? And that's the standard operating protocol of the CIA, of Mossad. Like, that's what these deep state entities do. That's why stories like Epstein matter. Because it's blackmail. That's maybe the easy way. Bribery, that's easy. Wait, hold on. You mean I can create money out of thin air and I can use it as power to make people do what I want them to do? That's easy too. I guess the threats part is easy for them too. Because it's all just, if A doesn't work, I'll do B or C or D. And you know what? Honestly, a lot of people don't even care. I'll spin the wheel. I don't care what it lands on. Just get the thing done. Make Mitch McConnell come out and do the thing. Make Lindsey Graham walk out and say the thing. Make Liz Cheney go do the thing. Adam Shifty Schiff, pencil neck, go out and do the thing. Chucky Schumer, oh, they got 6 ways from Sunday. The deep state has 6 ways of Sunday from coming after you. Oh, Trump better be smart. He's like, what is even happening? We're living in a dystopian hellscape. Oh, but you don't want to be the weed that stands up a little too tall. Don't be the flower that grows up a little too tall. John McAfee's tattoo, whacked. Coffee Mom brought me in. I just followed. Hey, Super Bear. Okay, good. I'm going backward. I shared your channel on Discord. Thanks. I'm like, do I know Super Bear? Well, thank you. I'm introducing Super Bear to my, you're at camp right now. What is camp? Is that like football training camp, or is that like summer camp, or is that like out at a camp camping and fishing and stuff? Nick says, Brian is a badass. Let's go. I don't know, man. I think I'm built for this. I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I just haven't found the right partnership with the right company. I haven't found the right. That's why I'm trying to build Rumble. I can't count on YouTube. I spent so much time and energy making YouTube and Facebook the thing, and it's like those are the 2 worst companies, Meta and Google. The worst 2. And X was a shit show under Twitter. It's a little better now, but it's still not great. And I got to pay to stream through it. And I'm still not monetized over there. And it's like whatever I do, I'm not getting traction on X. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the success of the New American Media and Brian Engelman and the TNAM Daily Show and all these things in general, maybe it's just a little bit of, hey, when you use X, do it this way, not that way. I see how you're doing it. You just got to do it like that. Oh, I feel like I've done the things that other people are trying, different strategies, and they just don't work. They just don't work on my channels. But regardless, Deb says, I'll say this for Brian. He's not easily deterred. So neener, neener, neener. Yeah, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo. And I wondered, did I blow my opportunity with BBC? We were pitching a TV show. We were going to do All American Conspiracy. I was going to get John B. Wells. He and I were going to do like a conspiracy show. But then, yep, that is Eminem. Good job on the Easter egg, Coffee Mom. And then like the management of BBC said, well, we're not going to be doing programming that's lean in television, like on the edge of your seats, like what's coming next? Oh my gosh, what the heck? That's awful. They said, we're going to do lean back television, like game shows and more stuff like that. I'm like, So then I developed the TNAM game show. By the time I went to pitch it back to that guy, he wasn't in that position anymore. And I'm like, what am I doing? Was that my chance? Should I have been on BBC for the past 8 years? As a TV star? I don't know. In an alternate universe, I probably am. I'm probably a household name at this point. And I think in some ways that is what hell is going to be. You're going to see the alternate versions of you that you could have been. Remember that day you went and filled up at the gas station and you almost bought a lottery ticket, but you're like, or you reach in your pocket, you're like, oh, I thought I had cash. Never mind. And it's like, you find out Lake Leon stopping by to say howdy. What's up, Lake Leon? Or like, oh, had I made this decision, everything would have been, and you get to see. It's like the Scrooge story. It goes to Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future. Similar, not exactly the same, but I think hell could be, it's metaphorical or it's literal, or we'll find out when we're gone. And that's the point I made to John McAfee at the end of this interview. I'll get to that in 1 second here. But if we could see the other versions of ourselves that we could have became on parallel dimensions. Maybe every choice we make splits the multiverse off into another reality, all stacked on top of each other like pancakes. Well, I wonder if I have that image. I do have that image saved. I don't know where it is. But I had Grok create an image of Wilford Brimley on the moon eating a stack of pancakes stacked up all the way to the moon to give him the diabetes. Anyway, it was my silliest TNAM moment. But yeah, I don't know what happens when we die, and I don't know what parallel dimensions are, if there's parallel versions of our lives happening simultaneously in one unique moment in time. If today I decide to never do a show again, what would my version of life be? Like, you get to see that path. Or if I shoot an email to Gerald A. Morgan, who I interviewed and whatever, and go, hey, I do shows all the time. Like, you guys have your act together. I'd like to partner with you guys. Like, is there room? Like, you got room for anyone to jump on and do a show? Expand the network? Like, I'm looking to do something. Look at the resume. But yeah, I wonder, because none of us know what happens in this life. We're all just guessing. But yeah, I literally typed in BrianEngelman, John McAfee. CIA just got nuked, and it would not show me that.
Long time, but it sure is nice to get some vindication. So you're not the crazy guy with the tinfoil hat in the room. Oh, you're so paranoid. No, man, it's just happening, and I've been researching and paying attention.
Pancakes.
Shouldn't you have done a little bit of that? And at least if you're not going to do that, maybe not make fun of the people that are doing the heavy lifting. Well, look, I'm blessed today to bring in John McAfee, American.
That's crazy. As I played that, and I said, I'm blessed today to be bringing in John McAfee. Huge thunder rumbling. Talk about touching the third rail. Lake Leon, where are you at? Where are you watching us from today? Pancakes. No, but that was wild. As soon as they said John McAfee, I got huge thunder outside.
Computer programmer. I mean, this guy, we interviewed him during the Libertarian run. He was in contention, trying to become the Libertarian candidate for president in 2016. And that didn't happen, but him and Judd Weiss definitely got a lot of people thinking and talking. And we've been talking with him ever since, and I just said, look, man, you're my phone a friend for this type of thing. Walk me through what we know about this leak, about what WikiLeaks has done. Give me all the information that I can get about Weeping Angel, about this Vault 7 data dump. Umbrage. Umbrage is the one thing. Man, is this the most important thing. I'm just going to bring John in and we can talk about it. Seriously, I could do a show yapping on my own, but why have a guest if I'm just going to ramble? So let's get John into the program. Maybe we'll start with umbrage.
Hello?
Hello.
Umbrage. Good word.
Yes, it is a good word. John, you are live, sir. Welcome to the program.
Umbrage, good word. Look, you either connect with people right off the bat or you don't. When I was talking with John, we laughed at the metaphor for American politics with the bright light. I'm finishing a sentence about umbrage. He jumps in and he's like, umbrage, that's a good word. Like, John and I just had a connection. Like we just hit it off. Like you can't really describe it. You either get along with people or you don't. Oh, there you go. Lake Leon is Patriot Warrior. Okay. I'm like, I know the name from the other day, but I couldn't remember exactly why. Okay. Thank you. Patriot Warrior. Okay, cool. But yeah.
Yes, it is a good word. John, you are live, sir. Welcome to the program on Agree to Disagree here at the New American Media. It's a pleasure to have you back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm not very agreeable tonight, so I may not agree.
All right, then we can agree to disagree on that point. Well,
Perfect.
let me. Yeah, you heard me talking about.
Anyway, I'm not going to play the whole interview, but the last part of it, I do mention this quite a bit, and I need to trim this out as a standalone clip.
It's time to build a different planet. An opponent.
Because we are all what the government is in a tiny little way. We all have love and hope and dreams, and at the same time we have fear and greed and animosity and jealousy. Well, when people get angry, a bloody nose results. When government gets angry, what happens? Entire civilizations are wiped out. When people get greedy, you stop inviting them to dinner. When government gets greedy, nations starve. So governments are us, magnified by the power we choose to give them. Let's take that power back.
I like that.
And I'm sorry, sir, I have to run.
Indeed. John, thank you so much for your time. Tell everybody what you're up to, where they can follow you in the months to come.
Oh, yeah. I'm on Twitter at least once a day, not as much as Trump. My Twitter handle is official McAfee. I have the same handle on Facebook.
There was something I said to him maybe before that.
But it's a different type, and it's certainly not the political power that Obama has been blessed with for the past 8 years. No. So.
All right. Instead of seeking this out, let me see if I can find the actual moment that I tell him that. But I tell John McAfee something along the lines of, I don't know what happens when we're done. I don't know if any of this matters. Is this a video game, a training simulation, but if there's a God, and if that God is going to judge my reactions, judge the way that I led my life on this earth, I want to be able to look at my maker, if there is one, and say that I tried. So let me see if I can find that clip, and I'll try to get that to you. But anyway, thanks for going on that side route with me. But a lot of you are brand new to watching the New American Media and myself, and you don't know the New American Media or the Agree to Disagree show or the TNAM Daily show or Brian Engelman and where we've been for a decade and a half. And I mean, shit, listening to Brian Engelman from 9 years ago. I think that was from 9 years ago. That was when the Vault 7 release happened. It was 2017. 8 years ago. John McAfee needs to be Trump's advisor. Maybe he actually is. I don't think I responded to any of these comments. Some of them. The internet, a blessing and a curse. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm going to try to find you that clip. But that's essentially what we talked about. All right. And that's why I say sometimes go on YouTube and look at like the highest viewed videos and just scroll down and look at names that you recognize and let some old videos play. Because I think part of what YouTube is doing is they're saying, I don't have enough hours listened to, but I don't think their stats are accurate because, well, for reasons. But yeah, if you take a look at some of the old interviews, they hold up. That one sounds like Brian from today. It's just wild. All right, let's get into the news, shall we? A lot to talk about. This is... Let's change the screen dynamic. There we are. And right here, I'd like to point out what the Maha agenda has been able to accomplish with the help of the Trump administration. We are going to make ice cream delicious and safe again.
Thank you, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy, Commissioner McCary, for the opportunity to speak today about this significant voluntary industry-led commitment to remove certified artificial colors from commercially produced ice cream products. I am Andy Jacobs, chair of the IDFA Ice Cream Board and chief executive officer of Turkey Hill Dairy.
Oh no, he said IDF. No, I don't think he means Israeli Defense Force related to ice cream. I don't think so, at least.
One of the nation's
and look, these are like little things, but like they're not little things because they're all building blocks. You take each brick and you build your foundation and you take your way up.
Premier ice cream brands.
Fix our food.
Today's announcement represents a commitment by dozens of individual ice cream companies, from small independent companies to family-owned companies going back generations to large multinationals. We have all come together as the ice cream industry to lead major change and to make this commitment to remove artificial colors. Thank you, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy, Commissioner McCary, for the opportunity to speak today about this significant voluntary industry-led commitment to remove certified artificial colors from commercially produced ice cream products. I am Andy Jacobs, chair of the IDFA Ice Cream.
Instagram is too good. The end of a clip and the beginning of a clip are seamless. You can't even tell the difference. Make America healthy again. Bravo. Yeah, he has been a very good pick. Getting maybe the most done out of anybody. You know, we keep waiting for the indictments with Kash Patel. But we're going to get to it because there are some updates on that. But good. Fewer crap products in our food, the better. I don't think I played you these. Why did it play out of order? I don't know. But let's show you this one. Ghislaine Maxwell, allegedly, according to some reports, Colin Rugg is saying Ghislaine Maxwell ready to tell the American people the truth about Epstein's client list before Congress, according to the Daily Mail. And I think that's the only place reporting that. A source told the outlet Maxwell is happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. Let's take a listen.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did.
There are similarities between Jeffrey Epstein and John McAfee. very little belief that the official story that they took themselves out of this simulation should be believed. Very little corroborating sense. We're just not buying it. Yeah, Deb is saying if hours are a thing on YouTube, then these long shows you're doing should have an impact, I would think. That is one of the reasons that I do the long shows. Another reason is because I like to talk. Another reason is there's so much to cover. Another reason is that I play you a lot of clips for us to consume together. It's like instead of scrolling, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this by asking you this. Do you find yourself scrolling mindlessly on your phone a little bit less when you're checking out our shows, when you're checking out the New American Media, when you're checking out the TNAM Daily Show? I find myself scrolling mindlessly less, a lot less. What I do is I will find good stories and I will share them to the Instagram feed for the New American Media. When I know a story is good, I'm going to drop it there. And I'm not, well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't always watch them twice, but we unpack them together. But there's a lot of content that I'm sifting through and scrolling through to try to find the best of the best. And by the way, if there's anything great, and when I say great, I just mean newsworthy and an interesting perspective worth sharing. Compelling video, interesting video, newsworthiness, timely stories, breaking news, important events, whatever. Tag us on X at American_media_. Because when I'm doing my daily scrolling, if I see some of that stuff, I'll share it. I'll retweet it out to, what do we got, 10,000 followers over there? But I find myself scrolling less. Because I'm scrolling together with you guys. Like we're finding relevant stories to sift through and watch together. But yeah, I mean, I even sent YouTube a message and I said, guys, look, we're putting out daily content now. It's just a matter of time before we're going to hit these benchmarks. Can you just monetize us? You know what they did? They slapped us with our first hard strike ever. That's what they did. They went, oh, you still haven't gone away yet, little boy. Okay. We'll give you your first hard strike. 14 years. How many videos do we have? A lot of videos. So it's just, it's a platform I cannot build on. But anyway, let's listen to Ghislaine, because Epstein not offing himself really feels like McAfee not offing himself. Was he taken out or did he escape?
I believe that he was murdered. Well, I'm shocked. And I wondered how it had happened. Because as far as I was concerned, he was going to, I was sure he was going to appeal. And I was sure that he was covered under the non-prosecution agreement.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the indictment. So I wasn't mentioned. I wasn't even one of the co-conspirators. I believe that he was murdered.
Oh, they got music, so you got to mute it.
Shame. She has no heart.
Shame.
She has no conscience.
For Virginia Giuffre.
There's no disputing the facts, as the court found. Maxwell procured underage girls for Epstein, groomed them, abused them, trafficked them in many ways. Some say she was even worse than the despicable Epstein.
But I expected it from a man, but I didn't expect it from a woman. And, yeah, I think that's...
In Virginia, I think she falsely accused Dershowitz or something, and then she was the one that was hit by a bus and said, I'm not, and then said, I'm going to be gone in a couple weeks, and then she was gone, or she did it to herself or something. Did she go into witness protection, or did she actually end up in a hospital or taken out by the deep state? It's so weird. This whole story is so weird.
Sweetheart's snatched.
She's like, yeah, I would expect that from a guy, but you don't expect it from a girl, and that's what makes him so demonic. To trick the girls.
What do you make of Ghislaine Maxwell's decision to speak from jail like this?
It wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise because
And they're playing this at like 1.25 or 1.5 speed. Can you watch stuff at 1.5 speed or 1.25? It's so distracting to me. I don't know.
it gives her still that feeling that she's in control, even behind bars. And I think she's doing it for attention.
Anyway, check this out. It's on our Instagram feed. I can't play it with the music, unfortunately. All right, let's talk about this. Live from America TV, breaking. The Supreme Court has allowed President Trump to dismantle the Department of Education and follow through with laying off nearly 1,400 employees. The Department of Education has not made Americans smarter. It's made us poorer. It's made us more indoctrinated to the self-loathing. That's what the Democrats have been running the schooling system for far too long. Everything's about shame and race. It's okay to look back in history and see some things that happened and learn some historical context. And yeah, that's fine. But to dwell on it nonstop to the point where you just break the brains of all these white liberal ladies and effeminate liberal guys. The parties have split. Americans have kind of settled. There's like a masculine party of MAGA, and then there's the estrogen party of the Democrats. And the teachers' unions, the Department of Education, hammering that, let's see, white people should feel guilt for things we didn't do to people that aren't around. Like, that's like a number one way to sit down, shut up. Google, YouTube takes down your channel. Sit down, shut up. Facebook, Instagram, Meta, shut down your accounts, shut down your groups, silence your profile. You should just shut up, right? Just shut up. Oh, you're white? Oh, definitely shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, what? That's what the college professors have been teaching decades of generations of kids. Gen Z, millennials, zennials, Gen X, probably around Gen A. But mostly, I thought about Gen A. Probably 70s, 80s is when like this indoctrination really got toxic, cranked up into the 90s, and then the 2000s went hyperbolic. But the weak-minded people that have bought into the fact that they need to feel shame for who they are. If you're white, you're male, you're Christian, you're straight. Oh my gosh, that's like talk about the third rail. That's like that's strike one, strike two, strike three, strike four. You have no opinion. You can't get into college. You can't get a job. What do you mean? You're calling white people oppressed? No, there's been a systematic campaign to disenfranchise people based on what you're swinging between your legs, who you're swinging with in a bedroom, the color of your skin, like irrelevant things. Wow, that shook my house, Thunder. Shook my feet. Wow. But if you look at the Department of Education that came in the 70s with Jimmy Carter, Americans' ability to like learn the important things of how to survive this world have just gone in the tank, while their propaganda, while their bullshit, abusive mind control propaganda, it really is brain damage and mental abuse that they've been causing. All of their globalist, socialist, Marxist, communist drivel. It's been stemming from the Department of Education. Goodbye. You mean, yeah, it figures. Trump said he loves the uneducated. Ugh, God bless. See, if you're smart, no. succumbing to the fallacy, the logical fallacy of, if an authority figure tells me something and I regurgitate it, I get a cookie. I get a cookie. I'll take a cookie. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to say, Professor. Oh, you got all these different flags. I don't see the American flag in my classroom. Oh, that's some bright purple hair you have. Tell me about your views on the world and I'll repeat it. Give me a cookie. I want a grade. I'm good. I'm so good. Can I nuzzle? Can I nuzzle with you? The more educated, those were air quotes if you're listening, for those of you in Rio Linda, California, Easter egg of the day, type in the comments, what is that from? For those of you in Rio Linda, California. If you parrot, the earth is dying, we're overpopulated, having kids is destroying humanity, there's a green crisis and we're killing our planet, and carbon dioxide is the only reason why, and it's all man-made, and we need to stop, we need to limit birth rates. Yeah, they've been pushing that in our schools for decades. And look, the kids are being aborted. There's no people to fill in the Ponzi scheme of Social Security, so we're importing 30 million illegal alien invaders from parts unknown with intentions unknown to radically bring all of their ideas from many shitty countries, shitty ideas from shitty countries, shitty upbringing, to make our communities shittier. And yeah, you could have shitty people from every country. It's not a knock on any one group or any one location. They dumped 30,000 people into Springfield, Ohio. They're eating the cats. They said, sir, I even saw them eating the dogs. I said, you're not going to bring 30,000 Michigan fans and put them in that suburb outside of Columbus. They're different cultures. They're not compatible. They have nothing in common, no common interest. What are you doing? Yeah, melting pot. There's a statue from France and it says, bring us all your trash and we'll sort it out. Yeah. That's not to call any or all immigrants trash. No. No, if you want to be American and assimilate, that's fine. But immigration without assimilation is invasion. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, I don't want Michigan fans moving into Columbus. That's Columbus area. I don't know if these people jumping into the country, sneaking under the border, under the fence at the border, climbing over a wall, going in the back of a trunk and trying to slip through customs. I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know if they want to be American, if they want to learn English, if they want to abide by our Bill of Rights and learn what it is that makes our country tick and become a part of that and add to that and not be a drain on our society. I don't know any of that. I want to filter these things and find out who we are bringing in. Country's full for child abusers. Country's full for violent criminals. We're full. And if your head's full of mush, Marxist, socialist, commie crap, country's full. We don't want you here. If there's a little bit of immigration and it's assimilation and we're all kind of still on the same team, that's culturally. That's not race. That's not religion. That's culturally. Do we agree on the same things? But yeah, the Department of Education has been rotting the brains of our youth for decades. And it's a shame. But it's also a shame that the Republicans have allowed it to get this out of hand. And once again, male and female, what are teachers? Teachers are 70%, 80%, 90% in elementary schools, females. So when you have 90% Democrats, Brian, that doesn't correlate exactly. I know it's not an exact correlation, but it's similar. It's warping our nation and it's not for the good. So if you look at how we've performed as a nation since Jimmy Carter set up the Department of Education, this is a general manager that's done almost nothing right. It's time to fire them. You fired. Hey, there you go. Another thunder. I mean, it is And it's bright and sunny where I'm at, by the way. Like, that's rumbling off in the distance, but it's powerful. Lake Leon got it. El Rushbo, for those of you listening in Rio Linda, California. Let me tell you. Bella's Chance. What's up, Bella's Chance? Over in the Cape near Boston. It's wicked awesome. Bella's Chance says, I may be wrong, but I think Ghislaine's offer was turned down by Republicans in Congress. Well, you don't know what she would say. You don't know if you can trust her. Well, why wouldn't you trust a... Come on. Is there anyone more disgusting and vile? You could say the guys are gross for wanting to abuse ladies. Okay, fine. What is the woman's excuse for tricking and conniving these girls to get snatched up, caught, brainwashed, and abused? That clip I played you, in many ways, Ghislaine Maxwell's worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Because if she wasn't tricking at-risk youth into getting snatched up, or, oh yeah, we're modeling, we're doing now you can't leave this island, and you're in a dangerous place, and you're abused daily. Yeah, that makes Ghislaine Maxwell one of the worst humans to ever walk the face of the earth. But yeah, 7 Republicans in Congress blocked it. It was Ro Khanna that said we should release everything, but releasing everything would, like, you can't release videos that are showing, like, you have to redact. You literally can't put abuse footage out. Like, you can't do it the way that it was suggested. Bella saying, I think her testimony would have been closed door. Yeah, it's pure evil. Women entrapping girls. It's just, you're supposed to be able to have a little bit of trust on that. All right, here's Megyn Kelly.
To off air on Friday, we found out that it was either she goes or I go situation between Bongino, deputy director of the FBI, and Pam Bondi.
By the way, let me just put a pin in something before we shift over to Bondi. And I mean, we're still talking about Epstein, but Ghislaine Maxwell did not kill herself. Say it with me on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Ghislaine Maxwell did not kill herself. She did not. Okay?
And I confirmed that with my own reporting, that they had a massive blow up on Monday, a week ago today, in the wake of that memo, that it had resulted in shouting, that it culminated in a second meeting at the White House on Wednesday. And Susie Wiles, who's the chief of staff for...
Susie Wiles is kind of running the show, and she needs to get a little bit more grief here. Susie Wiles she's the architect. She is the head coach, the GM. She's a chief of staff. She needs to be blamed more for this fiasco. Actually, that's something I think I'm going to post as a standalone on X. Let's continue.
Trump, but a Florida native, and I think reportedly close with Pam Bondi, seemed to be trying to put it to bed and see if, Dan could calm down and Pam could calm down, both of whom had been screaming at each other. And it didn't go very well. And the next thing we hear is Bongino saying, I'm leaving unless she leaves, or does something more to come clean or be more transparent about the whole Epstein thing. That was on Friday. And then over the weekend, I will say my own sources said there'd been a softening because the president got involved in some way. And as of today at noon Monday, Bongino has not resigned, but we don't know exactly where it stands. She's clearly fighting back too. She's dropped, obviously, I mean, this is my supposition, some hit pieces on him in various places, including Axios, saying he's just having a hissy fit because he was behind the minute before midnight that's missing in the Epstein tapes from that cell block, which don't show his cell, but show an area near his cell, and that he was caught embarrassed because he didn't highlight that minute before midnight that was missing, but it soon came out, and now he's scrambling to sort of look like he's been tougher on this issue than he actually has been. And Todd Blanche, who's her deputy at DOJ and President Trump's former personal lawyer, has come out with a statement on X saying there is no daylight between the FBI and DOJ at all on that memo that came out last Sunday. I will tell you, my own reporting suggests that's not true. But Blanche trying to put on a united front between DOJ and FBI. That's where it stands today. As we went to, I don't know, to off air on.
So that's what I'm going to post here. I posted this on X and I'll put it in the comments. Susie Wiles must face more criticism about this entire Epstein debacle. The MAGA messaging has been a gigantic, confusing mess. What in the world is the strategy here? None of the Epstein updates make any sense. Agree or disagree with that? Eh? Do you agree or disagree with my point on that? What say you? Yeah, Susie Wiles, chief of staff, needs to be held accountable for this. Babylon B here. Justice Roberts gives KBJ a magna doodle to keep her busy during oral arguments. She's got her tongue out. Why is it that every Supreme Court ruling, Lake Leon agrees, Susie Wiles needs to be held accountable for this? That's the overall strategy for the week. If a head coach just goes out and gets steamrolled by an opponent on Sunday, you got to take the blame and go, look, we planned this week entirely wrong. We had talking points, we had plays called, nothing worked. We were out of sorts. Our communication was down. Like you got to fall on the sword. You want to talk about Epstein? It just feels disrespectful, the things going on in Texas and other things. Pam, do you even want to dignify this reporter with Epstein? Why do we want to talk about this guy? Yeah, because we demand it. That's why. Oh, no, bro, he's just working 47-dimensional chess. Okay. But why is it that the 3 Supreme Court justices are allowed to be on the wrong side of every single issue every time? Pure activists. Elena Kagan. Ketanji Brown Jackson. By the way, can that be voided if that was done by AutoPen? And Sotomayor. Awful. 3 awful ladies, always voting locked arm in arm with the dumbest ideas imaginable. Their commitment to consistency is impressive, if nothing else, but Babylon B roasting him there. Justice Roberts gives Ketanji Brown Jackson a magna doodle to keep her busy during oral arguments. Jackson was just demolished in a conversation. With her recent ruling, she explained her vote and it didn't make any sense. I mean, she was essentially laughed out of the court. That was 2 weeks ago? I'm trying to remember what case that was. There have been so many cases. But it feels like these are completely unqualified, unserious Democrat deep state strategists. Susie Wiles is friendly with Blondie. Origin of a problem? You're damn right. That's a good place to start. This Epstein story is lucid, constantly changing. Yeah, it is changing day by day. All right. So here you go. Here's the top story of the day. FBI has opened a grand conspiracy probe of weaponization, opening the door to a special prosecutor. The FBI has quietly launched an investigation into a decade of Democratic Party and deep state antics, from Russia collusion to Jack Smith, opening the door for the appointment of a special prosecutor to examine whether the well-documented episodes amount to a criminal conspiracy to meddle in 3 U.S. elections to the benefit of Democrats and to the detriment of President Donald Trump. Just the News has learned. This put out on a Real America's Voice. The grand conspiracy case was opened several weeks ago after new FBI Director Kash Patel took over, and it could get a significant boost if Trump were to declassify 2 secret tranches of evidence that identify a potential ignition point to the alleged conspiracy in the summer of 2016, according to several people directly familiar with the inquiry who spoke to Just the News on a condition of anonymity. The first piece of evidence is a classified annex to a years-old Inspector General probe of Hillary Clinton's improper email server sought by Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. That annex is believed to show that credible information about possible wrongdoing was intentionally ignored by the FBI. The second tranche of evidence was identified by former Russiagate Special Counsel John Durham in his final report. The evidence was dubbed in the report as the Clinton Plan Intelligence, and it was also placed in a classified annex kept from the American people and many members of Congress. Excerpts from the publicly available and unclassified Durham report show that U.S. spy agencies were aware of Clinton's 2016 campaign, that they were concocting a bogus Russia collusion narrative to harm Trump's election chances before the FBI opened its now discredited Crossfire Hurricane probe, in part using the fake evidence created by the Clinton campaign or offered by Clinton associates. Both pieces of evidence have remained sealed from public view for nearly a decade and are highly classified because they reveal sensitive intelligence gathering methods, officials said. The FBI declined comment. Why? So, I'm going to type probes are meaningless. Start indicting the traitors already. I am so tired of special prosecutors, investigations. Get to the bloody point, man. Get to the bloody point. Indictments. We have known about the treason from Obama to Clinton, Brennan and Comey and Clapper. Go indict them. They should not be allowed to weaponize our judicials, our government in general, really. They should not be allowed to weaponize government the way that they have. And when Democrats are always running their fake stories and fake indictments, and Republicans are never holding them accountable, you will get more of this activity. So, cool story. On one hand, I'm happy. On the other, it feels like maybe it's just a distraction to pull us away from the Epstein case. On the other, just indict them already. Well, no, you got to be ready. No, don't you know? You've had 10 years, and we all know it. Get them. Lake Leon saying Ketanji Brown Jackson and Elena Kagan and Sotomayor DEI appointments. I mean, Bella's chance. Jackson can't compete or even keep up with their fellow justices. No, not at all. Ketanji Brown Jackson was backward on deportations, I think. Yeah, she's wrong on everything. Is there a grading system like an umpire, like balls and strikes? You see this now in Major League Baseball. There was an ump that called a perfect game, and that's really rare to do. And they have ways of kind of charting where a ball passes through and were you perfect? Did you chart a game perfectly? Oh, that's actually a good question of the day. Is it more difficult for an umpire to call a perfect game in terms of their balls and strikes, or more difficult for a pitcher to throw a perfect game? Because I thought what I saw was that it's only the second time an umpire's had a perfect game. Historical context, pitchers. Okay, an umpire calling a perfect game is a less commonly discussed feat, but still incredibly challenging. Typical game involves 250 to 300 pitches. Only 24 perfect games exist in over 140 years of Major League Baseball history. While no umpire's ball and strike performance has been tracked as a perfect game in the same way, it's likely no umpire has ever called every pitch correctly in a game, as even a 95% accuracy rate, which is elite for umpires, means several missed calls. They're saying throwing a perfect game is likely more difficult. Anyway, it's really rare. But look, point being, fine. You're opening another investigation. Just give us the indictments. Yeah, Lake Leon, probes are meaningless unless you're a proctologist. Look at that. Lake Leon off the top rope, filling in for Kenneth. Kenneth is usually late on Mondays and Tuesdays. Unless you're a proctologist. Deb says both sides are equally corrupt, which is why they can't take them out. It's a matter of who wants to fire the first shot. Both sides lose. That is, many things can be true simultaneously. I don't know that there are as many deviants on the Republican side as there are on the Democrat side. Am I backing them? Do I love Republicans? No, I don't. And no, I won't. I won't back them. I won't blindly follow them. But sure seems like the dirtbags are... I mean, there's a lot of Republican dirtbags. God, it seems like the Democrats are just complete deviants. Not all Democrats, but you know what I'm saying. The ump is less likely. Deb says, plus these politicians would have to get a real job and they're spoiled. I mean, yeah. Talked about it earlier with the AI versions. I mean, influencers and OnlyFans models. Enjoy that gravy train while it's there. That might not be there very long. David says it's been going on a long time, and how many are compromised? So anyway, grand conspiracy has been opened. Let's get an update on the slave labor, as some are calling it, with the California weed farm update.
A lot of viewers will remember last week at Prairie Land Detention Facility down in Texas, we saw similar attacks against
Tricia McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. She's got an interesting voice.
ICE enforcement officers. Again, it was highly coordinated attacks. They were wearing gear and had rifles as well. This was 10 individuals, but I will say...
Oh, no, they had gear? I don't know what gear is supposed to tell me, but all right.
In those California raids, particularly disturbing the number of politicians that came out and continue to villainize and attack and demonize our ICE law enforcement officers. At that particular operation, David, at those marijuana facilities, our ICE enforcement officers found 14 children, 10 who were unaccompanied. They were likely being exploited, potential slave or forced labor, potential child and human trafficking. So this is something that is incredibly disturbing. It goes far beyond politics. And not only were there 10 unaccompanied children at that marijuana facility, but we also apprehended 361 illegal aliens with heinous rap sheets that include kidnapping, child molestation, rape, serial burglary.
You don't want any people with that on their record in your country, in your house, in your nightclub. Get out.
Runs.
And that's why you have to check everybody. Every single person that snuck in through the cover of darkness needs to be identified. background check immediately.
These are no people who should not be in our communities illegally, much less around innocent children, David.
Tricia, it's Alicia Acuna. Continuing on this topic in particular, according to Customs and Border Control
investigations, a lot of viewers will remember last week,
Okay.
Prairie Land Detention Facility down in Texas. We saw similar attacks against ICE enforcement officers. Again, it was highly coordinated attacks. They were wearing
Yeah, but it is time for every illegal alien to raise their hand and self-report through the CBP Home app. They've had weeks to raise their hand now. Benny trying to make sense of what's going on with this Epstein mess. Susie Wiles needs to be brought into this conversation. She is orchestrating this shit show. She's the conductor. I am disappointed in myself that it took me until today to start calling out Susie Wiles. And I hope you do too, in the comments and some of your posts. She must bear some culpability for this, and probably a lot of it. Yeah, I know. Her voice does sound like nails on it. I don't know. I think some people say my voice is very difficult to listen to as well. Deb says, I remember Scott Adams thought about what if exposing Epstein takes down a huge amount of Republicans and that negates everything Trump has accomplished so far. Yeah. And then you combine that with when President Trump released that statement, that big long X post, and he goes, why would you trust anything the Biden regime would put together and as a report? Russian collusion, phony, Russia. Any Epstein report would be a bullshit Democrat hit job. I putting those two things together, I bet what was found waiting for them was a tranche. I don't know why we're all using the word tranche now. Actually, I want to look up that word. Tranche. Tranche. Portion or segment of a larger whole. WHOLE. Used in financial or investment context to describe a division or of a pool of assets, securities, or investments. A tranche. And you'd have to kind of tip your hat to the deep state on this if this is what happened. I don't know what happened. Tip of the cap to the deep state. We've loaded it with stuff and probably some fake AI stuff, make it look like grainy CCTV footage, but we'll take a lot of well-known, powerful Republicans and Republican affiliated donors, and we're just gonna, we're gonna make it look like it's old-timey VHS recorded CCTV footage of Republicans, and not a single Democrat to be found. Go ahead, release it. Go on. By the way, if that's the case, I suspect Axios is going to be given a copy and to release. And they'll say, "Oh, we've obtained footage and we've blurred out the images of the others, but here's what we got left." I bet they're going to try to force their hand. Oh, you're not going to release the Epstein files. Well, that's because you're guilty, right? That's what it is now. So if Trump does release it, it's going to destroy the Republican Party. And if he doesn't release it, it makes him look personally guilty. And whatever else happens, it's mainly going to take Trump out. But it, of course, will take all the Republicans out. All right, touche. That's a devious little plot. Now, how do you counteract that? What do you do in response? That is the major question. And I understand what if we don't know what to do, but there's a way to put a plan together and a way not to do it. Just to say we're not going to re-victimize those girls on those tapes, thousands of tapes, and they're on my desk in the files, and they say we're not going to do that. And by the way, there are no files, and there's nothing on my desk, and we've shown you everything we have. If you weren't watching, I did my Kash Patel impression. For some reason, it's one of your favorites. Not too many people doing Kash Patel impressions. And I was generally, Catch 22. By the way, are you aware that that's the name of the game show that I was on, Catch 22? With Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, you said you got to mute this. Oh, because that lady's voice makes your spine itch. All right. Bella's saying, I believe the Epstein chaos has an underlying cause, and that's being a total lack of justice. There are no arrests regardless of their obvious crimes and guilt. Yeah, where are the damned arrests already? Do you know it Brian, do you know it? Do you know if you have met Tony Mayers? I don't know who Tony Mayers is off the top of my head. David says, if they were going to shut all of this down, who cares who's on the list? Put every one of them in jail. It shouldn't matter who's on the list. Shut it all down and let's deal with it. With the mess, David says. Yeah, well, imagine 100 Republicans implicated, no Democrats. All it is you've decided to absolutely destroy one side. Well, if they're involved in it, they should be destroyed. Yes, I agree. Got to get the Democrats. If we take both of our knees out, how does that help us get the traitorous Democrats? The Democrats are a clear and present threat. They are an absolute threat to the United States, and they've proven this time and time again. Domestic enemies, opening the floodgates for 30 million unvetted people to infiltrate our nation. That is an invasion. That is treason. Oh, no, they're just good people. And by the way, I know that every one of them are really hard workers. Do you, Karen? Do you? How do you know that? Well, my landscaping crew, I talk to Hector all the time. He works very hard. Does he? Well, he does take a lot of siestas, but in between, the grass looks really nice. You don't know how hard anybody's working. You don't know what they hold in their heart and what they care about, what values and traditions and ideology they want to bring to this country. Do they want to contribute or change? We're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Yet we don't want a fundamental transformation, Barack. We want a restoration.